Okay, so welcome to the Akashic Wednesday Wisdom. This is your chance to practice your own connection with the Akashic Records, and each week we do a different topic, a different theme, to really kind of go deeper with your own healing journey, your own kind of soul awareness. And it really just is a good time to just bring up any of those patterns, karmic layers, programming, trauma that maybe that we're not aware of, or maybe that we are and we've just not dealt with at this time. And so it gives you an opportunity to kind of just do some of this healing and for yourself, but also get insight, clarity, and guidance from your Akashic records and your guides. So today we're going to be looking at perfection implants. So anything to do with perfectionism, really, that's kind of the theme that we're looking at. And perfectionism is where we really kind of hold ourselves to certain types of expectation or ideal, which may have been placed on us by somebody else, or it might be just something that we've come to decide ourselves for whatever reason. But perfectionism, or having this ideal around things being perfect, can absolutely stop us in our tracks. They can really hold us back, from, making mistakes and experiencing perceived failure. They can hold us back from being authentic and being ourselves, from making certain choices and decisions in terms of maybe what things that we want to do or grow or expand. Perfectionism and or having this ideal of being perfect and appearing to be in our best light can really slow us down and stunt our growth and put us into fear, actually. So it also can create a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, because we hold ourselves to these high expectations. And it might be that you've done quite a lot of work on this already, and that your what you perceive as your standards are not as high as they used to be, because things are just not as important, and which is fabulous. But we can still get held back in some shape or form by this idea of perfectionism. So I wanted to kind of just do a little bit of a deep dive into the Akashic Records, just to kind of clear any implants, any programming, any residual stuff that might be in there, any karmic baggage that we've not connected with yet, that is creating this fear around perfectionism. Because it is a fear, and for some people it is a massive self-sabotaging pattern that they have going on, and they might not realize that it's connected with perfectionism, but it actually is. So this is going to help for those people that do kind of get held back by this particular topic. This is going to help you just to release that fear, so that you're more able to just show up authentically and feel confident and comfortable with that, and people will take it or leave it, but it's about you feeling comfortable with that. But it also allows you to take more risks. So if you're wanting to move forward in your business, for instance, or do something in work or whatever it might be, or within a relationship, and you've held back because you don't think things, excuse me. We might have to do some throat chakra stuff here. You don't think that things are perfectly in place, that you haven't got all of the steps ticked off, or that you haven't got all of the knowledge and all of the steps laid out for you, then you're being held back by the idea of perfectionism. And we can have, in particular with moving forward, things that we're not sure about, or it's unknown because we've not done it before, we can have this idea that we need to have all the steps, that we need to understand the complete process from start to finish. I'm not going to do this until I've got all of the aspects in place, or I understand it. And life generally and business doesn't work like that. There is a degree of risk. There is a kind of a degree of fear, and kind of stepping through the fear and doing it anyway. And so this today is going to help you to feel more comfortable with that as well. So before I start, I will take a drink of water. And so what I'll do is I'll ground you. We'll connect to Mother Earth, because that's really important piece of grounding. We need to make sure that our physical body is very much in the here and now, because we'll be going up to the 5th dimension and beyond. So we need to make sure that we're tethered. We also connect to Divine Source, so we just have that connection above and below. And then I will take you into your Akashic Records. So you will be meeting up with your Akashic guides, and I will just channel whatever other energies come through to support you with releasing these implants. Okay, so I'd like you to just close your eyes. And for those that have not really connected with their Akashic Records before, then just know that you can experience these in lots of different ways. But try and use as many senses as you can, because the more that you can open up your senses, your touch, your hearing, your sense of knowing, and perhaps your imagination, you just embody the experience more. You can kind of really go full in, I suppose. But if you can't open up all your senses, then don't worry, that's absolutely fine. What I'd like you to do is place your hands facing upwards with the palms facing the ceiling, so you're in a very receptive and open mode. And again, I just want you to now take a deep breath in. And when we take this deep breath in, we're going to call back your energy and our energies from across time and space, people and events. And on that out breath, I want you to release any energy that's not yours. And we're just going to send it back to the earth now. And then again, take another deep breath in. Calling back your energy from across time and space, people and events. And on that out breath, relax the shoulders, soften the forehead, and allow the jaw to slacken. And again, take a deep breath in. Calling back your energy from across time and space, people and events. And on that out breath, bring your attention to your feet. And as we go through this process, your body will start to become heavier and heavier, feeling more and more connected to the furniture, the chair that you're sat in. And your feet are starting to feel very heavy on the floor, making that firm connection with the ground. And as you make that firm connection with the ground, I want you to start to imagine, sense, feel, or just know that you have thick, strong roots coming from the soles of your feet, and they're making their way through the soil, through the earth, going deeper and deeper down into the ground towards the heart of Mother Earth. And your roots are traveling deeper and deeper. And as we go deeper and deeper, you'll start to see, perhaps, or sense, or just know that there's a large glowing crystal. And this is the heart of Mother Earth. It's deep in the center of the planet. And your roots are gravitating towards that crystal. And just notice, sense, feel, or know what kind of crystal that is. And whatever crystal is presenting, or whatever the color is, this is what you most need today to ground you and to cleanse and clear your aura and your chakras and your whole body system. Wrap your roots around that big crystal. Wrap them round a little bit more, making that secure connection with the heart of Mother Earth. And you may even start to feel the heart beat of the planet as it starts to come into perfect timing with your own heartbeat. As you wrap your roots around the crystal, you'll notice that the energy is transferring from the crystal into your roots, And your roots and your body are drawing that energy up, higher and higher. And so your roots have now taken on this crystalline energy of the earth, changing colour, holding that sparkle and that glisten of the crystal. As the energy goes higher and higher, higher and higher. And we're going to take this crystalline energy through your Earth Star chakra, which is about 1.5 meters below your feet. And each time we take the energy through each chakra, you may get a shift. You may feel a sense of lightness. You may sense that that chakra is opening and switching on. So taking it through the Earth Star chakra, the energy is now rising higher and it's starting to make its way into your feet, through the soles, into your toes, and up the legs. And as we bring the crystalline energy up again, you may feel a tingling or a sensation of energy moving. This is all perfectly fine. And if you don't feel anything, just know that this is happening and you are taking this energy on. You're absorbing Mother Earth's energy. So bringing the energy now up to your thighs and up through the root chakra at the base of the spine. Taking it higher up through the sex organs and through the sacral chakra. Below the belly button up through the navel chakra. And then higher again above the belly button through the solar plexus. Bringing the energy up now to the heart. And we'll just pause here as you can feel the heartbeat of Mother Earth in sync, in tandem with your own heartbeat. And I just want you to imagine that your heart chakra is extending and expanding and growing within the chest, filling up with that crystalline energy, whatever the colour was that you've brought from the earth. It's filling up your chest, the back. We continue to take the energy up now, up to the shoulders, and allowing it to fall down to the palms, down to the palm chakras, which are opening and extending the light out into the room, up through the palms, starting to fill the room with this crystalline, beautiful energy. Bring your attention up to the throat and take the energy up through the throat chakra. Taking it up to the third eye, the point between your eyebrows. And you may start to feel a pressure, like somebody's perhaps pressing your head here. Taking the energy up around the ears, through the ear chakras, into the eardrums, into the middle of the head through your pineal and pituitary glands. And then up to the crown, the top of the head. And your crown chakra gently opens. And that crystalline light is now shining through the top of your head. And as it shines through the top of the head, the etheric chakras that sit above and at the back of your head now become their own spheres of light, balls of light. And this just indicates that they've been switched on and they're now starting to glow and activate. And these etheric chakras support your connection with the higher dimensions, with divine source, and with the Akashic records. So taking the energy now from Mother Earth up through the soul star chakra above your head, the causal chakra at the back, up through the universal chakra, and then the stellar gateway right at the top, which is about 1.5 meters to 2 meters above your head. And then the crystalline energy from Mother Earth is just starting to move out into the room. And as it continues to move out into every corner, it's cleansing and clearing every object, every piece of furniture, every plant, anything that you've got within your room is being cleansed and cleared by this beautiful crystalline energy. And anything that's not serving your highest good, it's not good for your health or mental or emotional well-being, will be taken by this light and returned back to Earth. And just while Mother Earth is spreading her energy through the room, your auric field will automatically start to absorb the energy. And we're going to start to invite your spiritual support team whilst that activation and healing is happening. So we're going to call in the 6 archangels that I work with that will hold the space for you. So Archangel Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, and Uriel. Please place yourself horizontally around our physical bodies, with Archangel Michael behind you, Archangel Gabriel to your left, Archangel Uriel in front, and Archangel Raphael to your right. I'm going to call in Archangel Sandalphon, who's going to bring up a fiery white cord in his hands, and this is your connection to the Middle Earth, the elemental realms. And I'm going to ask for Archangel Sandalphon to place that cord of energy, that fiery white cord of energy, which is crystalline energy, into your Earth Star chakra. It's going to just keep you completely grounded physically here in the 3D. I'm going to invite Archangel Metatron to bring down a similar cord of golden fiery white energy, which he does, that he's bringing through the ceiling of the room that you're in, and he's bringing that golden fire energy, and he's just going to connect that with the stellar gateway chakra. And as he connects that stellar gateway sphere of light turns to a bright fiery gold, and in turn that triggers a chain reaction where the universal chakra, the soul star chakra, the causal chakra each take on this golden fiery energy and become their own golden sphere of light. That golden energy now is making its way through the crown of your head and starting to now be poured. It's almost like it's being poured. It's like liquid gold that's now going through your entire body, through all chakras, all organs, all meridians, all nadi points. Every physical part of your being is being filled with this golden liquid light, and this is divine source energy that you are starting to completely be enveloped in. But it's like liquid gold. It's very comforting. It's very reassuring, and it brings a huge sense of inner peace with it. So just allow yourself, give yourself permission to absorb this golden light, this golden liquid light completely. And it will make its way through the skin and also into your auric field, 2 meters all around you, 360 degrees. And just whilst divine source energy is filling your entire being with this beautiful light, we're going to call in any other ancestors, angels, elementals, divine God and goddess energies, any star beings, galactic councils, any other being of 100% pure love and light that wishes to support you in your space today. We invite you into this circle. So you're now being held in an archangel light, a sphere of light. You're being held by your spiritual support team. And I'm now going to bring your attention to your third eye, that point between your eyebrows. And I just want you to start to imagine, sense, feel, or just know that there's a purple swirling light that's starting to get bigger and bigger, bigger and bigger there before you. And it gets so big that you step through this swirling purple light and you find yourself in your corridor. Now, for some of you, this will be very familiar, and for some of you, this will be completely new. And this is the corridor that leads you to your Akashic Record door. So just walk down the corridor, taking notice of the sounds, what you can see or imagine, what you can feel beneath your feet, what you can feel with your hands as you walk down the corridor, and head towards that beautiful, great big door at the bottom of the corridor. Just taking notice of what that door looks and feels like today. And on the door, you'll notice that there are details, your full name, your date of birth, and your place of birth. Once you can sense, feel, or know that those details are there, place your hand on the door handle and open the door to your Akashic Records. And I want you to step into the Akashic Records and allow the door to shut behind you gently. Take a few more steps in to your beautiful cosmic library and take in your surroundings. Use your imagination, sense, feel, see, or just know that you are surrounded by this beautiful wisdom, your knowledge of all of the lifetimes that you've ever lived since your soul's creation are held within these books. And you may feel a real sense of gratitude, but also a sense of coming home, because this is you. You are surrounded by your knowledge, your information, your lifetimes, your memories, your stories, your gifts. They're all held here. So you'll notice on the left-hand side that there's a chair, and this chair is for your ego and your human mind to sit upon. So we're now going to invite the ego now to separate themselves from your body. And I want you to just sense, feel, or know that this is happening, and you may see your ego as a colour or just energy or as a person. However you feel that happening or just know that it is happening, that's perfect. And your ego just heads over towards the chair, sits down, and just busies themselves with reading a book. And your ego is perfectly happy there. And once the ego is now separated, we know that any guidance information that comes through will be from your Akashic Record guides or any other guides that we invite into the space, but not from your human mind. So I want you to step forward now. Again, just taking in the surroundings of your Akashic Records. Notice if perhaps they've changed from the last time that you came in, and that's perfect if they do. Head towards the long, large table in the center of your Akashic Records. And on that table, you will notice that there's a large book. This book is your present lifetime. And as you pull the book towards you, you'll notice, sense, or feel, or just know that there's already text and perhaps pictures and images and photos that have already been placed on the pages from all of the things that you've done, felt, thought from today. They've all been recorded already. So we're going to just leave your present lifetime book there, and we're going to invite your Akashic Record guides now to step into your cosmic library. And there may be more than one guide. So we're just inviting those guides now to start to walk towards you. And I want you to turn around and just sense, feel, know, or see, or imagine Which guides are stepping towards you? Are they familiar or are they completely new? Your guides are smiling and are absolutely delighted and happy that you're here today. They're excited because we have important work to do. And they know that perfection implants can be particularly troublesome for some of us, especially, and that do really can hold us back in so many ways, in ways that actually we don't even realize. And so your guides greet you, perhaps give you a hug, give you a nod, say hello, and introduce yourself if you're unfamiliar with the guide that's stepped forward, and ask for their name if they have one. And your guide might be an animal, a colour, perhaps a light being of sorts, an angel, or they may look like a person. However they present themselves is perfect. And you may find that your guide don't even show their face. They may be cloaked or hooded, and that is also perfect. But know that your guides are here to support you with accessing the information here today. They are your record keepers. They protect your wisdom and your knowledge in the Akashic Records so that nobody else can access this information without your permission. But your Akashic Record keepers also support with connecting with the right information that you need in order to heal or get insight. And today, your Akashic Record keepers are going to bring forward as many lifetimes that you're prepared to release and heal, where there has been issues or challenges, trauma, programming, agreements, conditioning, imprints, implants, where it creates this sense of needing to be perfect, to hold ourselves to impossible expectation and ideal. And so your guides present to you a number of books, and maybe just one, where there is a lifetime that's connected with this challenge. So holding out your hands, allow your guides to place in your hands as many books that this relates to, that you are ready to heal. So just notice how many books you're being handed. And you may want to, just by holding these books, get a sense perhaps of the lifetimes that they relate to, maybe what the outside of the book feels like. Perhaps notice if there's any numbers or words. And also get a sense whilst you're holding these books of whether perhaps you were a male or a female in that lifetime. And even now, as we go deeper, get a sense of why perfectionism or issues around and challenges around perfectionism were created. So your guides are inviting you to pick one of these books if you've got more than one. And by holding this book, you're going to start to connect with the story. As you connect with the story, as you're holding the book, you may then start to sense that you are starting to watch perhaps a video that you can stop and you can press play at any time just by that command. But you could start to maybe watch this video in the book, start to get a sense of how the scene is unfolding. So you know that if you're male or female, but maybe get an idea of what age you are. Are there any other people involved? And what was happening for you to create a sense of perfection with yourself? Were you being judged by others for being imperfect in their eyes? Were you told that you were never good enough? And so you tried and tried and tried to improve, to please, to be accepted. Just get a sense of what was happening in this particular lifetime to create this sense of needing to be perfect, to having everything in place before you're willing to step, interfere, or take risks. Had something happened where everything went wrong because there wasn't enough attention to detail? And so now you overemphasize that need of everything being in its place so that that same mistake can't happen again. Whatever it might be, as I'm talking and as you're holding the book, we are releasing the energetic hold, the trauma, the guilt perhaps, the shame, the despair, the loneliness, whatever energies are attached to this lifetime that are not serving you now, these are being released as you're holding the book. And you may start to notice, feel, sense that there's a beautiful green healing energy coming from your hands, which are coming from your heart, that's coming from your guides' hearts. And this green energy is focused on those books and is releasing anything that is no longer serving you in whatever form that takes. And there may be wisps of smoke as these energies are being released. You may see them as physical symbols or objects. But just know that there's deep, deep healing occurring within this lifetime. And if there are any other books that were given to you by your guides, we are now requesting that that same healing energy is transmitted towards those books as well. So if you did have any other books, perhaps they're now on the floor just near your feet, they too are now in a green healing ball of energy. And there's a deep, deep release that's happening, that's occurring, that is coming from your heart, your guide's heart. And this was representative of you and your willingness to now give yourself permission to let go. That it's safe to be imperfect. That the ideal of perfection does not exist. That we do not need to know all of the steps of a process, of a journey, before we actually take it. So we're just allowing that to be released. And there's a real sense of peace that's starting to envelop you as you give yourself permission to let go of the anxiety and the stress, the disappointment perhaps, the perceived disappointments, the perceived mistakes. We're just releasing all of those. As you start to feel more comfortable with the idea that you can be authentic, make mistakes, not have all of the knowledge and all of the steps, that you can show up as you are, in your authentic light, as your authentic self, and that you are happy with that. So you'll notice that the green healing energy is starting to dissipate, it's starting to be pulled back. And those books or book that you've healed will start to feel perhaps a little bit newer, a little bit more revitalized. Perhaps any tears or any aging that was on the book or books may have disappeared. And this is just a representation that these lifetimes have been healed. And you can now hand these books back to your guides, and your guides will place them back in their rightful place once we have left the Akashic Records. And so your guides are now requesting that if you have a particular question, one that has perhaps been troubling you, maybe keeping you up at night, or it's a particular challenge that you're going through, that you would like to receive soul-aligned guidance on. Your guides are now patiently waiting for you to ask this question. And when you get your answer, just know that it can come to you in many different ways. It may be a sense of knowing. You may hear some words drop into your head or into your ears. You may see images that are given to you, or your guides may even give you a symbol that represents the answer. So I'm going to give you a few moments now just to ask your question and receive that wisdom. And your guides are now letting you know it's time to leave your Akashic Records. And just know that you can come back to this space at any time that feels right for you. Your guides will be here waiting to answer your questions, to give you guidance, give you insight, and support your healing journey. So giving your guides a hug, or perhaps just a nod and a goodbye. Start to make your way to the door of your Akashic Records. And as you're walking back to the door, you can still feel that sense of lightness, like a weight has been lifted off your shoulders, knowing that you don't have to carry that cloak of perfection and high ideals any longer. It's been released completely and lifted from you. So as you get to the door, you'll notice that your ego has already stood up and is just right beside you. Just turn around once more to look at your Akashic records, and then when you're ready, open the door, step into the corridor, and allow the door to shut behind you. And as you hear that door click, then I want you to say out loud or in your mind, I now close my Akashic records. Start to head up the corridor towards that purple swirling light. And as you start to get to that purple swirling light, I want you to step through it. And I want you to start to rub your feet on the floor, rub your hands together or rub your hands on your thighs. And what we're doing here now is we're getting back into the physical body, but we're also grounding the healing. We're grounding the messages, we're grounding that clarity and that insight, and that whole journey is being grounded into the physical body. So we're just making that connection, bringing ourselves back. And my intention that I'm now extending to your guides and your higher self is to allow you to get further insight, awareness, ahas, and healing if it's required over the next 24 hours. So if you were not quite sure what the message or the answers that you got from your guides, that will be brought to your consciousness. Also, anything that you choose to remember about the healing that you received with those different lifetimes, or maybe it was just one lifetime around the perfection, then again, that insight and that information will come through for you if it's necessary, if it's relevant. So let me know how you got on in the comments. Also, if you have a particular pattern or fear around perfectionism, and as I say, it does show in different ways, just see once you kind of go to do that activity again or have that kind of mindset or that thought, just see if it feels a little bit less. See if things have changed where you feel that you can take, a bit more risk, that you're a bit more blasé about that particular activity or how you show up, because that's when you know that things have shifted. If you feel that you're still gripped by perfectionism with a particular thing, then repeat this meditation, because there will be more lifetimes that you will be able to go deeper with. We only get what we are ready to release. And so you can repeat this over and over again and get different layers each time, and that will support you. But do let me know how you got on, what your cosmic library was like, what guides showed up for you today. I would love to hear, and of course I can share any further insight around your journey as well. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll speak to you very, very soon.